Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and today is Sunday, which means it's the end of my training week. And even though I try not to plan my workouts, it's often nice to look at the numbers at the end of the week and see what the result of my simple engagement looks like. And when I looked this morning, I already had 17 hours for the first 6 days of the week, Monday through Saturday. And a thought occurred to me, it's only 3 more hours and I've got 20 for the week. That's a nice round number. So I went out for a roller ski earlier in the day. I usually don't work out too early, but it was hot and very humid, close to 90, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I let myself cut the ski short, came back, and I thought maybe I should back off today. But there was another voice in my head that said, yeah, but you're now only 2 hours and 15 minutes away from 20 hours for the week. It's only 2 hours and 15 minutes more. That's it. So I've had this conversation going on within me, which is where this video is going. And the two voices that I'm listening to, one says, you're done for the week, call it quits. And another says, you don't know that yet. Fatigue is an emotion more often than it's not. So let's engage again and see what's available this next time. It's much cooler here in the studio. So if I hop on the elliptical, I'm not going to have to deal with the same heat and humidity I dealt with outside. And it's primarily focused on legs, whereas on the roller ski, it's very hilly where I live. I was really feeling it in the back of my arms and in my lats because I did strength Friday and today is Sunday. So today, because I'm just beginning my strength training, I've only done 2 workouts, I'm experiencing some DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, because I'm 2 days away from the workout, and that's when you really feel the most sore. So as I was out there roller skiing, I could feel it all through here, and as I'm poling, I was thinking, this probably isn't going to go well. But the elliptical does not use my arms. It's just legs and glutes. So one part of me says, you're done, call it quits. Another part of me says, you don't know that. Maybe you're just fabricating a story, which happens a lot. We do that. We are storytelling creatures. So what I'm going to do, get on the elliptical and see what happens. I'm not going to expect something to happen. I'm not going to go to the elliptical begrudgingly, like, let me try it. I'm curious. I don't know. And that's how I approach my workouts every day. There are many days that I wake up and I have no energy, and I may not get my first workout in until afternoon. So if I were to measure my energy and measure my level of engagement in physical activity early in the morning, more often than not, I would call it quits and say, okay, it's not a good day. I'm not recovered. I'm just not feeling it. I don't want to push it. Let's back off. Let's take 0 today. But by allowing myself to slowly engage on a time scale that feels good and comfortable, and allowing myself to engage again and again as new resources become available, which, if you understand that fatigue is an emotion, you'll also understand that when you shift into other parts of your brain that are not promoting that experience of fatigue, so when you leave those promotional parts and go into other parts of the brain, resources become available that were not available when you were in the midst of that fatiguing emotion. And I've experienced this so many hundreds of times now. It seems magical, because on a day where you're like, I can't do anything, and then suddenly you find yourself sprinting up a mountain feeling amazing, because you allowed yourself not to buy the fatigue story. But does that mean that fatigue is always a story? Does it mean that there's not some real physical challenge going on in your body that you have not overcome, or that you have newly created that you need to pay attention to? Yeah, I'm always cautious of that, but I don't want to jump to conclusions before I run some tests. So by hopping on the elliptical machine, I'm running a test, I'm doing an experiment. Let's get on and find out what happens. I don't know. I either feel it getting worse or I forget about the fatigue and I'm lost in watching a ski race. And an hour later, I look down at my watch and I'm like, oh, wow, that was quick. And I feel great. And then a couple hours later, I try some other form of engagement and boom, I feel amazing. So I'm cautious of the signals that my body presents to me, or should I say they put me in a state of I need to pay attention, but at the same time, I don't want to believe them too quickly. I want to allow for other possibilities to exist. So I want to run some tests, run some experiments and say, okay, maybe I do need to back off today. Maybe I shouldn't try to finish the week with high volume. Maybe I should back off today. But then another part of me is saying, well, run some experiments, find out. Maybe you'll get your 3 hours today. Maybe you'll get your 20 hours for the week, whatever that means. But then this coming week, you really should back off regardless, because I've had several 20-hour weeks in a row. So the plan was to back off starting tomorrow anyway. I've got this roller ski race coming up on July 11th, and today is June 27th. So I was going to start tapering down for that race beginning tomorrow. But that taper may happen today if my experiments don't go well. And I don't even know what that means, go well. They're going to give me data, so therefore they're going to go well regardless of what the data is. They're going to give me data. So there you go. All right, I hope there was something useful in there. Be careful of being certain about what's going on in your body. Be careful of predicting what's going to be possible for you later in the day. You don't know. Keep trying, keep experimenting, keep engaging, keep your mind open, keep curious, or keep curiosity alive and say, I don't know, let's find out. And what I find out more often than not is that I am capable of far more than my stories tell me. So the video that you just watched was shot yesterday. And I want to clue you into what's happened since, because I've now finished my 4th workout since talking about that experimental approach. And it's amazing to me every single time that I allow myself to explore possibility, because I'm always surprised. So again, yesterday morning, went for a roller ski, cut it short, wasn't feeling good, super hot, super tired. But then yesterday afternoon, it was even hotter. It was in the 90s and really humid. I had to do some shopping in Massachusetts, and I thought, there's a rail trail down there that's really nice. So let me bring my roller ski stuff and I'll do a short ski. So I parked at a section where it was 5 miles to the end, turn around, come 5 miles back, a nice, easy 10-mile cruise. We'll see how that goes. And we can always turn around sooner if we need to. And I felt fantastic on the way out. So when I got to the end and turned around, I thought, you know what? I want to push. I want to see what that feels like. So I went after the course record for that 5-mile section from Lanesborough, Mass. Back to Cheshire, Mass. And not only did I get the course record, but I maintained an average pace of 3 minutes and 39 seconds a mile, which is the fastest I've ever roller skied. I wasn't going at my limit. I was scared of the speed. That's what kept me at that speed, was I was going wicked fast. I almost tripped a few times. It's really easy to stick your poles between your skis at that speed. Little rocks, you're pushing out with full extension, a twig, a rock, a leaf can pull your ski out from under you at a couple of close calls. So I didn't go any faster than about 17 miles an hour, or a 3:39 pace. So on a day where I was going to call it quits, I ended up skiing the fastest that I've ever skied in my life, and it didn't even exhaust me on a ridiculously hot day. Then I got home, I did some elliptical and felt fantastic. Did some treadmill, my Bigfoot stride at a 10% incline, felt fantastic. So had I decided yesterday, after that early morning ski, that I was done and I needed time off, I would have been wrong. Now, I'm not saying that that would have been a dumb move to take time off. It's always a good idea to give yourself a little bit of a rest. But if you allow yourself to engage in a little experiment and see how it goes, you might discover that you don't need the time off, that you're not actually tired. You were tired in that particular moment, but now something has shifted and a whole new level of fitness is available to you, but you don't know that until you try, until you experiment. So after I did those great workouts yesterday, I thought, okay, Monday, tomorrow, today, I'll definitely take it super easy on Monday. Maybe I'll even take Monday off. But then I woke up this morning feeling fantastic. Elliptical felt fantastic. Maybe I'll try a roller ski. Maybe I'll get a few miles. Felt fantastic. Turned into a half marathon plus. So until I get out there and get shut down again and again and again, I'm going to keep engaging. Getting shut down once is not enough data. So allow yourself to try again. Come back, relax, fuel up, do something else in your day. Try it again, see what happens. There's a really good chance, if you don't keep telling yourself a story of fatigue, there's a really good chance that something totally different is going to be available to you. All right, I gotta change. I am absolutely drenched. See ya.